Hey mommy, I hope your chemo today was so smooth and that everything is so smooth. I have a really good story to tell you. Let me take off my jacket because it's getting warm. But I have a really good story to tell you. Today, you'll never guess who I got to have a conversation with. John Lithgow. Yeah. He came to UCLA and did an exclusive reading of his one-man show with the junior acting students. And it was basically him talking about his life and how his family talks about did a lot of storytelling, and he told a story from that he remembered from his childhood, and it was like maybe a 40-minute story. The whole thing was like 90 minutes, and it started off with him talking about his grandmother, and then him reciting a poem that his grandmother used to recite, and then he talked about his dad and coming from a theater background, and then he got a little choked up about his dad who passed away, and talked about going back east to New York to take care of his dad. And no, he's from Nantucket. That's where he's from. Yeah. And he went back home because he made the joke that he was the only one of his brothers and sisters who was out of work in 2002. And he went back and he was helping, and he felt like everything he said was like not enough. He couldn't say anything that would really get through to his dad. I think that's how I interpreted it. Like that, it was like everything was good and he was doing the things, but it was like there was just this wall. Like his dad was really depressed, and so he found this old book of stories that his family used to read to each other, and he opened it up to his favorite story as a kid and started reading it. And somewhere throughout the story, his dad laughed. And it was the first time he'd heard him laugh in a long time. And it was through storytelling that he felt like he brought his dad back. And afterwards, after he was done, we had a question and answer segment, and John had said that he was feeling like he didn't want to get choked up the way that he did because he didn't want to get ambushed by his emotions. And I said that I thought that as long as you're not being self-indulgent in your emotions and you're still being there for the audience, it can be very cathartic. And I said, because personally for me, I really connected with his story about his dad, because I felt like when you were diagnosed with cancer and I found out that I could make you laugh on the phone, it was just like, it just touched my heart. Like, I didn't know how to communicate with you at first, but I knew I could make you laugh. And so then I told him I made this YouTube channel so I could share stories with my mom, and it was my way of connecting with you. And I got choked up, and John got choked up, and I think a few other people in the room probably got choked up, and it was just a really cool moment to be able to share that with them. And yeah, letting you know that you were being thought of today and loved. And yeah, so here I am adding to that collection of stories. And it was really cool. I skipped 2 classes to be there, but he talked to us about one-man show writing and a whole variety of things, and he was an amazing storyteller. He was so good. He's actually going to be performing in New York in the end of May for the same show. I love you, Mom. Oh, and then later, I met with a girl named Farah to possibly be my roommate, and we were set up by this girl from my sorority, introduced me to her, and they've known each other since middle school. And I we met up, and I was like, I feel like I'm on a blind date right now. And she laughed, and we had a really good time. We talked about bunches of stuff, and she's going to come see the place on Sunday. So that's cool. I'm looking forward to that. She's really nice. I like her a lot. She's a magician, and she can do all these different tricks with random objects, apparently. And she invited me to come see her perform in this place called the Magic Castle, which is an exclusive club in Los Angeles that's all about magicians and magic, and you can only get in with an invite, or a membership. But in order to become a member, then you have to be a magician, and you have to like audition to become a member. So it's really, really exclusive. And in order to go, you have to wear like a cocktail dress, and she invited me to come see her perform there. So I'm really excited. And yeah, that seems like a lot of fun. And then I went to a sorority dinner, sorority thing. It was a girl's birthday. We went out for dinner. Well, they went out for dinner. I hung out with them. And then one of the girls, one of the new pledges, and I hung out for a few hours after. So now it's midnight 30. I tend to do a lot of these at midnight 30, it seems. And I am exhausted. And so I am going to go to sleep. But I love you. Good night. And I admire your courage in going in for your 3rd session of chemo. And I admire your strength and your beauty and your wisdom and your power. And I know that you are the most beautiful mom, inside and out. And I'm so grateful to be able to share my stories with you. I'm so grateful that you open yourself up to allow yourself to be touched. Because it's a place I enjoy being. I enjoy being in your heart. I love you. Good night.